Breaking news, and Kaylee actually said, what took so long? CNN is parting ways with star anchor Don Lemon. The network made the announcement just a moment ago, actually. And it says, quote, CNN and Don have parted ways. Don will forever be a part of the CNN family, I guess, but he can't work there. And we thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well and will be cheering him on in his future endeavors. Don Lemon also speaking out, writing a statement. Here's part of that. I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. So clearly they see this differently. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to work. I have loved at the network. Kaylee McEnany.
Yeah, it's quite something. You know, we just, I would just say we saw him take a break briefly for some comments he made, and then here we are.
Here we are. More Outnumbered in a moment.
And stunning end to Tucker Carlson's tenure at Fox. The network revealing just minutes ago that Carlson hosted his last show this past Friday. Carlson had been a network staple since back in 2009. 6 years, almost 7 years, he had his primetime show. Just 2 weeks ago, he headlined a very important network get, the first post-arraignment interview with the former President Donald Trump. Fox on air and in its statement brands this decision as mutual. Let's get straight to CNN's Oliver Darcy. Oliver, giant news. What do we know about how it happened and why?
This is really astonishing news, John. In the world of media and in politics, we don't really have any details outside the short statement that I want to read to you from Fox News, which was put out moments ago. It says, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. And it goes on to say that his last program already aired on Friday, April 21st, and that he will, or his hour will now be hosted by a rotating cast of different hosts over on the network. So a very short statement. I can't imagine that this was amicable. Notably missing from the statement was anything from Tucker Carlson himself. And John, this is huge, like I said, in Republican politics as well as media, because Tucker Carlson exerted so much control and so much power and influence over the Republican Party base. You often saw lawmakers like Ted Cruz go on his show and grovel at his feet when he would lash out at them on air. And like you said, he had the first interview with Donald Trump after he was arraigned in New York court. And so this is a huge moment, I think, not only in media, but also in politics for the whole country. And
so, Oliver, we want to be careful because there's a lot we don't know, as you smartly pointed out there. And you very smartly pointed out that there's no comment from Tucker Carlson in the statement issued by Fox. You can draw an inference from that, but we need to be careful. There was nothing, you very carefully covered the lawsuit, Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News. This is not required. There was nothing in that settlement. Fox settled the lawsuit, agreed to pay the money, and there was absolutely nothing like this on the table. So this comes as a total surprise, right?
As far as we know, that was not part of the settlement deal. Now, it's always possible that there was something in there that we didn't know. It's hard to imagine, John, that this is a coincidence after Fox pays the highest defamation settlement ever that's publicly recorded in U.S. history, $787 million to Dominion last week. After the settlement, days after Tucker Carlson losing his show, it's hard to imagine these things are coincidental. But the network's not tying the decision to that in their statement. And so we just simply don't know how directly connected they are, but hard to imagine that this was a coincidence days after that settlement.
It certainly is.
Just in to CNN, Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. The right-wing network just announced the two have parted ways. CNN senior media reporter Oliver Darcy is here with more on this. What are you learning? He was out on Friday. Will we see him say goodbye?
We're not going to see him say goodbye. This is really stunning news coming from Fox. They say his last show was April 21st. They put out a very short statement. They say they thank him for his service, and that's it. That's all we know right now. But of course, this comes days after. Last week, you remember, Fox News settled this massive defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems over the election lies that it promoted in the wake of the 2020 election. So they paid out $787 million, the highest known defamation settlement ever publicly known in U.S. media. So this is coming days after that. Unclear, of course, whether this is related. It's kind of hard to imagine that these things happen. Tucker Carlson was sowing doubt about the U.S. election results just up until the last few weeks. So it's possible that there was a relationship there, but really big news. And I should also point out that they've stuck with him really through quite a lot. Like he has promoted conspiracy theories about the vaccines. He has said things that are just
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up. Barney, no bad Barney, no bullet. Good to see you, sir. Didn't Carlson do an interview not long ago about how corrupt the news is? That he was wanting to do his own thing, showing the corruption and BS in the news by all the stations, rather. Oh no! What will the Patriots do now? Indeed, what will they do without Tucker? I don't know. I guess they'll have to figure it out. Apparently, the staffers are happy. Pure joy, they say. I guess this is just salt in the wound, right? Pure joy, one Fox reporter told Rolling Stone of their reaction to the split. No one is untouchable. It is a great day for America and for the real journalists who work hard every day to deliver the news at Fox. It was a good move to part ways with Tucker, added a producer. He knowingly spread lies throughout his time at Fox. But I fear management will replace him with someone who is just like him, so there probably won't be any real change. Good riddance, said a network correspondent. For a while there, it seemed like he was running the network. This clearly is a message that he's not. In the interim, it's a morale boost, that's for sure. I don't know if I even want to go check out Twitter. I don't know, perhaps. Are you in mourning, Quantum Epic? What's your reaction? Anybody want to come vent and mourn for Tucker? Anybody? I'm loving it. Good riddance. Fucking bozo. Good Lord. Smarmy little prick. I'm glad to see him go. I guess he'll land on his feet somewhere. Tommy says Tucker is a good example. Despite Operation Mockingbird, they still don't just dish a script to every single journalist. Interesting. Illuminor me in the house, indeed. Well played.
So I am just popping up here for what you said.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing any streaming today, but once I saw the news, apparently Don Lemon's gone as well over at CNN.
Yeah, and he's been a foot out the door as long as that Brian Stelter. Even after he was out, we all knew that Lemon was on his way.
Well, good point. Yeah, he was trying to hang on.
His use. He's worn out his use as a black gay journalist to stick in front of a camera. We do not need you anymore.
Oh,
and he
man.
also did over even as a mark and he did very much overstate his position and overstate his things he wanted to say as a gay black man. That's why
I agree.
they had that. Yeah, he was all drunk out at a bar, like talking that shit like he was something that couldn't be replaced or whatever. But
well, sorry to interrupt. Lemon certainly never annoyed, or I'm sorry, rather, Tucker never annoyed me as much as Lemon, that's for sure.
And none of them matched Stelter.
Oh, God, yeah, the absolute, yeah, the worst.
And that's when I got the most confidence in like a second wind of like, let's take on this political shit is when I saw they were cutting Stelter. I was like, oh, good. That shows like progress, even if it's controlled to make us feel better. Like, yeah, get him the fuck out of there. Because I'm not even 100% fan of Steven Crowder, but one of my favorite Steven Crowder things is Helter Skelter, when he covered Helter Skelter and made it about Brian Stelter.
Oh, yeah. I missed that, but yeah, that
Oh,
sounds
you
fun.
can look it up on YouTube as a lone music video. You don't even have to see that episode. But it is cool because they play it up like Steven's eating in the green room, and the Jared guy that left is like, hey, yeah, I had some extra mushrooms. I put them on that sandwich. I hope you like them. He's like, oh, thanks. And he just goes into this crazy trip, which is the music video. It's fucking awesome. Helter Skelter. Like, you know those guys at the mall in the middle of the lane that will like airbrush the shirts and stuff?
Yes.
I've been constantly mulling over taking my denim vest and having them put an evil Stelter face on the back and have it say Helter Skelter. And you know there's going to be like a little schwash or an upside down cross right there on his forehead above his, like between his eyes. No pupils in the eyes, of course.
He's not trending on Twitter, at least not yet.
Tucker.
Yeah, I guess this is
You know
relatively
what?
new
If I just grabbed
news.
something out of the air for him to do, Steven Crowder is doing his own thing now after he broke off from what's that Ben Shapiro group called that he was with?
Daily Wire or whatever.
Yeah, the Daily Wire. Ever since that beef happened, Crowder just went out and got his own crew, and the only one I disagree with is Brian, the dude that's from Fighter and the Kid. He used to be on Mad TV.
Oh yeah, Brian Callen.
Yeah, I don't like that dude.
No, I'm not a fan either. None of these comedians are really worth a shit.
Well, like I never was into Brian, but the thing that really stacked me against him was when Joe Rogan told that story of how this girl Joe used to fuck hit him up, and he was like, "Well, I'm married now. I can't really be a side fuck for you." And he's like, "But I got a friend. If you want me to send," like he said, he talked like she was so hard up. He was like, "Well, I could send my friend over," and she was like, "Fine." And he sent Brian Callen over to her house. And Joe Rogan said that she blew his phone up later, like, he fucking came inside me. Your fucking friend fucking came inside me. And he was even hit Brian. I'm like, what's the deal, man? Like, he just busted in that chick. And I always thought that was some fucking dishonor able, not response able type shit. And I just don't like how he is on Fighter and the Kid, how he's a grown man that still like sits cross-legged in sofa chairs. And yeah, I just think he's a punk.
Yeah, not a fan. Also, you sound like a bit of a Crowder guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I myself not a huge fan either.
I mean,
But
there was a time
rather,
that there was nothing better for me to watch, and especially in the morning. So I would watch him whenever he was regular on YouTube. And there's a lot of stuff I get behind him on, but then the things where he gets me is like, no, I full stand disagree with that, because sometimes he is just playing in word games and stuff on those rare occasions. But for the most part, he is good on how, like, that's what I came up to say about Tucker and Orange Man. It's like, yes, we can all agree to this game, to this sham, to the controlled op and everything. But if you want to live free and stand on your rights, you still ultimately will align more with the right, with Tucker, with Orange Man, than any of this left garbled bullshit.
For us for the week, we'll be back. By the way, the entire episode of Let Them Eat
Tucker's
Burgers
the final
is
myth.
quite as good as pizza. Streaming now on Fox Nation. Use the promo code ORIGINALS for 30 days free. And we'll be back.
And I do hate his life, or not hate his life, hate his laugh. But then when I heard the left hated it even more, I started digging it. And then I heard Joe Cool laugh, and I'm like, well, it's not as annoying as Joe Cool's laugh.
Now people are apparently trying to read some kind of coded message into this. Let me hear what he says here at the end.
That's all we can do these days.
For the week,
Indeed.
By the
They
way,
did
the
it
entire
with
episode of Let Them Eat Bugs.
Adam
Not
Aaron,
quite
with
as good as pizza.
AMC
Streaming now on
stock,
Fox
everything.
Station. Use the promo code ORIGINALS for 30 days free. And we'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, have the best weekend with the ones that you love, and we'll see you then.
Let them
Yeah.
eat bugs.
Huh. Interesting.
See, this is the chain reaction that Jack Talcott's going to run face plant into. Because first he wanted the UN, and now he's like, nah, not UN, dog. I want that WEF. And he doesn't know that Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, that little Israeli scientist, is the one saying, the fact remains is humans are now hackable, irrelevant creatures on this planet, and it's time for them to get over their gods. Their gods are irrelevant. Their religions are not needed. Their guns are not needed. It's time to give all that up. You are a hackable creature. And that's shooting words.
Well, if it ain't, it ought to be, right?
Well, I think it's up to the people he's talking about to, like, the same way women aren't really in a stance to say what fighting words are to men. I think the armed people with deities they believe in are the ones to say how much is too much. Because it's not about you go do that in your chapel and do it in your place. He's saying now, like, nah, none of that. That's irrelevant. That's not you. And don't quote me yet. I'm going to follow up on some more detail to this info, but I heard that Orange Man is alleging that in 2025 there will be a mandatory jab. And I'm like, well, then 2025 might be my last free days or breathing days. We'll see how that goes, if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I haven't been keeping up like I normally would, so hopefully that
And
would
don't
just
get me
be a
wrong,
rumor.
there's jabs I'd be first in line to. If you saw like an Ebola outbreak in America, where like in your own city you see Ebola cases getting rampant, oh yeah, you can give me that jab, and I'm sure you're sneaking something into it, but whatever it is, it's better than risking that Ebola game, dude. That Ebola ain't no joke. Like
Yeah,
at the
possibly.
end of the torturous process of your death, the final throes of it, you will leave a tail, which is a ribbon, which is the act of shitting out your intestines that are no longer attached on the inside. You'll just shit them out like a condom going inside out as it comes out your butthole. And your eyes will turn black because they're crying blood. And I can only imagine what kind of physical feelings you're going through even to get to that state. But yeah, but Ebola is a contact thing. It doesn't float through the air. It's you fucked around on some Ebola, you got the Ebola fluids on you, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm good on all that. I think I'll miss me with the Ebola.
As I don't miss myself with a shot to my own head.
Well, I'm trying not to go even fuller doomer than we already are, or than
Well,
I
I'm
already am.
saying if you found yourself in midway in that process and you remember what I told you now, like, oh, Tom did say that it would get worse like this until I'm shitting my ribbon and my eyes are all blood over. Like, there's no medal of honor. You don't get a trophy for sitting through that, you know? Like, you're done. Like, if a spaceman is floating out for eternity until he starves or runs out of oxygen, would you not bite that cyanide pill after you were mentally ready? Because unless you think you're going to come across some civilization in a super lottery rare chance, yeah, you're not winning any awards for just sitting there floating out to your demise any longer.
Well, isn't 2024 the president? I've kind of lost track, I guess. Or is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
2024 is the
2024.
election, and like I said,
Yeah.
I heard like YouTube, a YouTube creator talking of this in the finance world, so I'm gonna go deeper dive to verify if he did or didn't say it, because we know he said, I like take the guns then due process, so I wouldn't
Yes.
doubt, because he also was taking credit before his crowd started booing him. He was taking credit for a lot of jab stuff, so we'll see. And Salted Cedar, until it is 2024, I still stand behind my tinfoil prediction of no, Trump will return in 23. There will be no 24 election, and there will never be another US presidential election again. Because I'm not saying we're all going to end, but I'm saying this America thing that we've only known in our waking life, I think that's ending.
Hey, you are a conspiracy theorist after all. Excellent.
Well, I don't feel like I'm a conspiracy. I feel like I entertain it, but I don't feel like I'm a theorist any more than I think I'm a normie. Because the way the EBT crowd and everybody calls me a normie, they sound like they're saying it in the dichotomy sense of their disc world because their opposition is round, you know? And it's like they're not really telling me why they think disc. They're just saying, "Oh, you're a normie. You're a globe believer." I'm like, well, in the sense of shape debates, yes, I believe. Well, I know globe because of geometry and the way you can just look at things as they move. Um, and it's not simple. It does take the transition of the sun over seasons and the stars to show that tilt and the spin. But yeah, I'm not just picking a guess based on a community. And Bad Barney No Bullet, he's one of my first blocked biggest enemies, oppositions, and he agrees. He believes that we're on a globe, and he believes that we went to space. And he still drove me to blocking him.
We like Bad Barney quite a bit over here, but your points are well
I don't
taken.
hate him. I don't hate him, but like I said, man, I reached a point where if all I see is a greeting of meth and everything you say has to refer back to meth, like I told this community, if they really want it, when I decide to do that shit again, I'll turn my fucking camera on. I'll do it right here in front of everyone and tell you that I did it. But by all means, get that shit out of my face. What if my grandmother comes to these panels?
Is that within the realm of possibility,
No,
Tommy?
she's fucking dead. But
Oh, hypothetical.
but
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that context of like, imagine if you and do you have a mom that's alive, Benton, that you are cool with, or any family or something that you respect? Like, what if you
Yes.
just rolled in the Golden Corral with them, and everybody's like, oh yeah, like whatever, like a thing that no one should just shout out in public, you know? That's what it seems like as I go. Because sometimes it's like, hey, when the Civil War started and all these streets opened up, at first it was like, Jesus fucking Christ, some of these channels don't know me, and you motherfuckers are showing up to give them a reason to say, what's everybody talking all this meth pedo shit, you know? It's like, fuck, man, have some fucking class. Like when I was bumping into Paul, I wasn't fucking laying out a narrative on those people. I would say, hey, if that guy gives you trouble, I can throw you some strategies. But we see where it went from there too. But yeah, man, it's just classless. It's just classless. Like Barney would also constantly say, "Hey, how's AMC doing today?" The way Kem was like, "Hey, how's crypto doing?" It's like, yeah, neither of you understand either. And in both systems, yes, there's always ups and downs. You buy on the downs, you sell on the ups. So your attempt to make me triggered over it when I'm only in the green in both, uh, it just makes you look more pleb to show that you don't even understand the game you're talking about. Like you just saw numbers in the news and you wanted to run and find me and say, hey, 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 how about those cryptos, huh? How about those cryptos? I'm like, yeah, how about them? Like I'm only in it because of revelations and my paranoia of all that prophecy. Like I saw that happening through crypto, so I decided to make a move to try and protect myself. Provo, I think I would be one to keep you humble. I think with no ego, I think I keep a lot of people humble in these streets. Like I can cite some things that people never did again once I confronted them about it. Like let the dead bury the dead. You don't hear that a lot anymore. But where do you talk to Barney, Provo? Because I mean he chats and I think he has paneled with me like once or twice.
Oh, that's
But
interesting. I
Provo,
did not know that he
I
paneled.
think Provo should be more panel doing, because you see how Jack and Moose do it. You see how anybody that's a host has done when they're fed up with someone. Like Provo can take people till he can't stand them and just boot them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't believe he even reads his live chat, from what I understand.
Oh, he read it enough to mute me.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, man, I don't know if you ever heard about it, but one time when I was like not having it from everybody, whenever I was particularly fed up with whatever was going on at the time, I dropped into his while he was talking, and EBT and a bunch were in the chat, and I just posted Benton colon I'm autistic, and then Provo colon I'm autistic, and just said that a couple times just to kind of like make it look like a thing, like what's even going on here. And then yeah, he finally saw it and muted me.
Not even on CNN. Are we sure it's 100% confirmed?
That's good stuff.
Are you sure about those 5 minutes?
But he's still not on my shit list that
What?
that beard neck weeb is truth or flop. And he's redeemable. He can say the right phonetic sounds to square up and make us cool, because even Jessica has. But it is a thing that he did.
I think I met his wife back then, and she was really nice.
Oh, you're right, Provo Kid. That's what it is. It's because I said that line from Blades of Glory.
He was like,
I was like, Provo, I'm gonna cut off your skin and wear it to my birthday.
Sort of surprised as to what some of the things he was espousing. I'm not saying that it's not genuine. I think he changed.
But Provo, you got to see that movie, because as he says that to the Napoleon Dynamite ice skater guy, he rips some of his hair off to keep, and he like smells it real deep while he's walking away. That's a really funny movie.
I would hope that Rumble would be tossing their name in the mix, because that would be the best place for him to go. So what are the updates?
Is this live, or did you just play one of them?
Earlier today.
Program was on Friday, April 21st.
So it's done.
He's going political.
I don't know. They agree to part ways. That's the thing.
Oh, so besides the Tucker Orange Man thing, I wanted to say about how, like, yes, they're playing a role like Elon, but also all three of them are speaking the things you would be inclined to agree with.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I also wanted to say,
Yeah, he was motorboating. Like I said, it has something to do with this lawsuit. Remember they were going through.
okay, so I just got a text from him. So 5 o'clock at the earliest, my time, which is about 2 o'clock right now. 5 o'clock at the earliest, 6 o'clock at the latest. Me and Christos will be resurrecting his channel that has long time no stream. We're gonna start out one-on-one for a little bit, and then once we feel like we've done a thing, we'll entertain the possibility of whoever might be there to come up, because we talked about different people. Yeah.
At what time again?
It's 2 o'clock where I am, and I think he's a half hour behind or ahead of me. So he's saying 5 at the earliest he can start, and we had already agreed 6 was when we were going to start. So I don't know. He's talking like he's putting a thumbnail and a title together, so it might be a click notify thing. But even if he just starts it when he starts it, just keep an eye on his channel.
All right, I'm going to drop Christos's link. Tommy and Christos live one-on-one later this evening.
And once again, yeah, we're going to start one-on-one just because we had a phone call about some shit where it's like, hey, we should go deeper on this live, and then just have people come on according to who's there. Because we were talking about how, with all due respect to all channels, we see early on that there's too many channels with potential that want to settle for like not being on Paul's time and then restreaming Paul when he's on. It's like, that's cool, but we want to see what other people are doing themselves. Like Provo's doing his own thing altogether, and I've sat and watched Provo Kid in the shadows, not chatting or letting anybody know. And I dig a lot of Provo. Like Provo brings that. Provo and Chalkbody both grip me in my 80s, 90s nostalgia with either their music or their thumbnail style. Like, I appreciate both of them in my nostalgia pool.
And our numbers, like in the demo, were
But there's a lot of people doing a lot of work around that I don't think is warranted and doesn't disrespect anyone to not do it.
the amount of people watching this show than in the demo, meaning under the age of 40, then watch Tucker.
Oh, Rusty, yes, he's destroyed my respect I would ever possibly have for him. He's destroyed the illusion that was we thought he had daddy issues until we realized his daddy has been moving amongst the shadows with us all this time. Because I even reached out to his dad on Jack's show. I was like, look, man, I gotta apologize. Like, you were trying to embarrass your son back when I first returned from my hiatus. And I totally canceled you out in the context of like, look, old man, I appreciate you're trying to fuck with this guy, but he's my enemy and I got much bigger strategies right now. I want you to sit back and see how it's done. And I didn't know that was Paul's dad I was talking to. Because Paul's dad tried to come on Paul's panel, put a hat on sideways, throw a backbeat on, and start rapping. But he just stayed on the warm-up hype, like, yeah, and it's like, man, that beat has looped for a while, and you're still on the yes. And I was like, hey, take a seat, old man. Let me show you how to fuck with this dude. And so, yeah, I went back to him on Jack, like, hey, man, I just want to say I didn't know you were his dad back then. And if I did know, I would have let you keep rolling. Probably would have backed you up. Probably would have threw some verses in, threw some bars in. What did Randy's last thing say there?
Where are you?
Slave. Yeah, the one before #slave. What did Randy say? Because I never see him in chat till he sacks up and unblocks me.
Who, Rusty? Who are we talking about?
Yeah, Rusty.
Okay.
Sorry.
Says Paul has never destroyed anything unless you count king size Snickers.
He didn't do another. Oh, did you just double it up maybe?
Oh, there's no telling. Oh, wait, yeah, here we go. Come up on panel next time, Salted. Calling people pussy in chat is easy.
Yeah, and I agree. And I used to say that on this very channel to Rusty. And then the time he finally came up, I was feeling particularly trolly, and I was like, oh, if he's coming up, I'm just gonna take off and see if he gets mad about it. But no, whenever he did that shit popping off in his own house, and I realized that him and some of those guys were leaning more Jesus, then I even let people know I came up. Yeah, they're okay with me. Like, they're okay in the sense now I can just tell them shit to their faces and we can sit there and chill. Because even Toilet Bowl Earth, that tells me I cannot have a connection with God, even he appreciates what he walks in on me bringing against the unslaved and shit. There's Christos. There's the devil showing up when I talk about him.
Oh, is he here? Oh, good deal.
Yeah, he's in there saying
oh, the thumbnail is up, he said? Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, and that's light marketing, man. Me and Henry have had a good laugh over, like, I told Henry, like, Henry wanted me to do the Lauren thing on a Sunday. And I was like, how about the following Sunday so I can go put a little hype and put a little marketing in on this? And I went and trolled every channel that knows us so hard that, yeah, that day I was like, wow, this is blowing up in the chat even more than, like, I told Lauren and Henry, they're going to be coming for me. This chat's going to be lit that day. And then when we came to it, I was like, wow, I even understated what I thought it would be.
Indeed, sir. Apologies, I got lost reading the chat here.
I was too. I'm never fazed by the silence.
I've noticed that. One thing is, if you like to do live streams and you ever just want to chill out and read the breaking news, if there's a news event, bring on Tommy. It's great. I love it.
Dead air.
Yeah, wonderful.
And that's why, like, it would bother me if I was doing like a broadcast, like antenna radio show, like the classic shit. You do want to stay on top of your dead air time in that sense. But here and with people in person, like, you know how anxiety people will talk about how they hate it when they're talking to someone and then there's just that dead space. I'm like, oh, 2 or more heterosexual men historically were always okay with that. Like, that was the thing about straight dudes and labor workers. is you can just run into some dead silence and it ain't no thing. You don't
That's very
care.
true. Yeah, you don't have to talk the whole time. I agree.
You know.
Yeah, Tommy, Provo Kid says you're a great broadcaster. I agree. I agree. Although I don't believe he considers himself one, as previously noted. I think you said that earlier today. You do not consider yourself that.
Well, I always say I don't have a channel, and there is a method to that as well that I have yet to expose because it goes with the logic. Like there is a possibility I'll get in this game for the lulz just to join you guys, my brethren. But I have this question. Everybody uses this term broadcasting, and sure, maybe we can call it that. Like I would think we'd be calling us podcasters or some play on the Zoom call. Because when I think of broadcasting, it does it's like YouTube is the thing that's broadcasting and StreamYard is the thing broadcasting for us. But what we're doing is still for the most part a podcast or a Zoom call. Because
Yes, yes.
classically, I even thought of broadcasting as like an antenna giving off that globe signal that fades as it gets further, or a dish shooting that signal into wherever. That's what I always thought of as that term. And as far as various channels saying, well, we're trying to broadcast here, you just don't know how to broadcast, or Provo saying, I do know how to broadcast. I'm like, fine, we can roll with it. I'm just my educated side always feels the way white people still feel awkward saying Mexican, even though it's perfectly plausible to say Mexican food or the Mexican country.
Yes.
Uh, Third Rock, despite being a Baldwin leftist actor show, it was funny, and they did have an episode where all the white people would always act like, I don't think we're supposed to say it. And like all the minorities were like, no, you can say Mexican. It's not a big deal. And like the white people were like, still doesn't feel right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Real quick shout out to Toilet Bowl Earth. Good to see you, sir. I enjoyed your performance last night on Get Chalked Up. And yeah, if you've
Come
known any,
on up, TBE. Let's talk about how the Thorpes have jumped the gun on me in their intrusion, their invasion, their viral infection of these streets. They jumped the gun on me just like Truthfinder UK did. And those are the only two situations that I will be referencing. Those are the only two times that I told any kind of YouTuber, like, hey, slow the roll a little bit, hold up, don't get too aspiring, and let me debrief you about these streets a little so you can go in with a stronger game, with better awareness and discernment of what you're going to run into. Because whenever Grace popped into that thing last night, she did fine. But when she first popped in, I was like, uh-oh. And then I was like, where's Hollywood? Is Hollywood trailing right behind her? And then he popped up in chat, like, there he is.
yeah, what a bozo. Although back to the thing about the Mexicans, I agree. However, if you've met some people from like Southern California or maybe San Diego, that would be the exception. When they say Mexican and they see some of the white people not from that area get uncomfortable, they're like, what are you talking about? They're from Mexico. They come back and forth all the time.
Right. Well, and this is one I'm reserving to eventually drop on Joe Cool as a nuke in the right moment. But dude, there is so much racism based on white people are self-policing themselves in that context over shit that doesn't make a shit to anyone. And even with black people, I have yet to have one explain to me how Smurfs are offended by the word Smurf. Because I had these trolley lyrics for a what do we call it here on YouTube? A diss track. I've thought up diss tracks before that I never had an intention of actually producing, but I did have the lyrics coming so fluid in the moment. I just wrote some of them down, and one of them went to the tune of something like a nigga say earth, like a nigga say birth, a nigga say nigga like Smurf say Smurf. Yeah, and I mean, you put that to a beat, you let me flow to it when it's more solid with the other lines and shit. Like, yeah, I can crank out some diss tracks. Like, I am musically inclined, not with instruments, but I did DJ with vinyl. I scratched and did DJ tricks.
Nice.
I did for a short time. I had a Fender Strat that I would just play power chords on.
Yeah, bars. Indeed.
Yeah, I only had it because when I was a swag lord, somebody was willing to trade it for a meager amount of Mexican brickweed. So that's how I had like a GameCube and a guitar and all this shit that I was okay with passing on or getting rid of if I needed to. Yeah,
No,
bars.
but I like when Spanish people talk because it's like they're my little personal clowns.
And if you guys are familiar with a panel show called Sir Drop, he's passed
they do a
through
little show
various
for me, just a private show.
channels.
That's what I think in my neighborhood.
He shut his whole show down like Christo saw it. He shut his whole show down one day because I just said nigger when nobody was expecting it. And they were all inner city black people, and I'm just, oh, it was one of them said some crypto shit that I didn't expect them to be aware of. He cited the, I can't even remember what it was, like the SC 222 thing that was sent through as a bill. And I went, look at this nigga knowing what's up with that shit. And they all fucking lost it. And he cut the stream and bitched me out backstage offline. And it didn't affect me at all because he was trying to sound street hard when he indeed shut his entire show down over a cracker coming in and saying the sound. I didn't even hard R it. I said nigga in an endearing term. And it's because I'm over it. I'm over all this. I'll get in Joe Cool's face. I probably wouldn't get like that with people in person that I don't know, but that's mostly so I don't have to shoot them. Like, yes, the fish tank house did get swatted. And that's what I'm also trying to talk to Grace Thorpe about. She mentioned in her YouTube post that she's gonna call a welfare call to the police on her mom. And I was like, no, don't do that to anyone you don't want to risk the life of. Because there's even a YouTuber, brothers. They were brothers that would do like van life and RV life travels. And they were doing it together. They got in an argument one night and kind of split up as vehicles. And he called the cops because he was worried about his brother because he had mental health issues. And sure enough, they killed his brother and his brother's dog. Like, and the dude did a video about it. And I put in the comments, like, dude, I feel your pain. I don't want to fuck with you right now, but I have to say for you and anybody that reads this, like, you really did get your brother killed when you did that fucking welfare call. Like, how do you not know what these welfare calls are? You're already making the cops think that the person could be mentally unstable, so they're on edge. And your brother was pissed at you and nobody wants to get pulled over and get harassed, so he probably did give them some shit. It's hard to tell what happened because the YouTuber doesn't know. He just knows even the dog is dead. Provo, I come correct with everybody, which is stand up and honor Abel. I've come to you that way. I come to Benton that way. I come to everybody that way. And then we, in that mix of chemistry, decide with each other whether it escalates or resolves. But just know, Provo Kid, I'm kind of like the God in the context of there's only a rare things that you get my full break-off split. And it usually requires you be something vital first. Like, I can't be a like soul level lifelong enemy to a stranger. Like, you cut me off in traffic, we call each other assholes, whatever. But my family, my best friends of the past,
hey Sam, have you ever watched Sven Sobel's
those are the
George
people
Floyd
that have
animation?
the
It really
worst
opened my
divide with
eyes
me
to
because
see how
you
great of a
were
man he
a trusted
was.
friend
What
and
a
wronged it.
loss. Rest in peace.
Yeah, George.
Tell the truth, homie. You thought I turned you
Sly
out,
Elliott
and
with
you
the 20.
see. Here's
He was
where
the
it
great
gets me.
man of
My
our age.
chat on the
Probably
TV
better than
covers
Martin Luther
me.
King.
You thought I
Sly
timed you out and
says,
you went around to
I've
every channel
worked
calling me
doing
names. You now
professional
know I was.
videography, PA work, grip
That's what I
commercials,
say.
etc.
George Floyd was on. He's George
I didn't get to
Floyd,
read it
Martin
all,
Luther
but
King. I can't really think. I
she's
don't know.
not entirely
I would say
right
George
because
Floyd at the end of the day.
she's part of
Was
a
the better
thing
man.
that is going on bigger than her. But what I was mad about was what
Sly
like
says,
her and
I've worked doing professional
I say we
videography.
change. I say we change Martin
did.
Luther King Day to George Floyd Day.
But yes, I did go around all the channels, and
Is
it
that
wasn't always
crazy?
addressing Jessica, but I have
We
addressed
need more
the
federal
new term of
holidays. Sam, why don't we
Lewinsky
get federal
blowbang
holidays off?
because I see it
have my own
happen
federal
in
holiday.
other streets that you guys
didn't you
don't
let
know
me
or
and
see
Greg
should
go
have-
on
on.
Martin Luther King
There
Day?
are
I should
more
have Sexy
Lewinsky
Genius Day just
blowbangs
for
out
myself, my federal holiday.
That's how I thought
You
about
guys,
it.
you guys do get George Floyd Day off.
Juneteenth. On June 19th,
Yeah.
you let us go celebrate.
Yeah, I say, hey, go tag
So
the neighborhood
Benton,
up.
I sent a $25
Yeah.
super chat into Sam one time because, like, they'll read it, and he had,
What?
I guess,
25? Are you poor? But go ahead. Sorry.
well, it's 25 for them to read it, and then it was more for him to like look at your material or your thing and tell you whatever about it. So he had a stream where he talked about training Crispy or Froggy Fresh, who used to be Krispy Kreme until Krispy Kreme threatened to sue him. He was training him for the Creator Clash, the second iDubbbz boxing tournament.
Yes.
And so I sent in a super chat saying, make sure the contract states that his win obligates the return of his original Krispy Kreme name. And then I said something else like, please react live to the greatest music video, something like that. But whenever dude with the short black hair read it, he totally left the contract part about the name change off. And I think there was something to the title that night where they were joking around and it got out of hand and they said more than what it was with him training Froggy Fresh. And I think that's why he wouldn't read the first part. Because I saw other people's super chats compared to what got read. And I think they have some reasons of, what did they call it on 1984 when the dude's job is to go through the newspapers and shit and fucking modify them?
Oh, ombudsman, editor.
Yeah. See, here's Tribe's problem. Like, I do dislike Tribe for legitimate reasons, but he's always been out of the loop with his blinders of full Paul cuckiness. Like, nobody that has any kind of thoughts about me can really catch all the panels I've been on to display whatever it is. But I see I'm getting a lot of rational respect these days. People are coming around. I've said it enough times that I've been playing games, and I've pointed out that discernment will show you when I'm being real and when I'm playing. See, he's even playing the Paul's Your Daddy game. Like on Toilet Bowl Earth the other night, I shut them down. It was Scott, who goes by Truth Not Lies, and one or two other people that showed up playing that Paul's Your Daddy game. And I fucking made one strong statement and it shut them all up if they didn't leave altogether. Because here's the thing, Tribe. YouTube is not a Paul place. Paul has a place in YouTube, but just going everywhere and saying Paul's your daddy, like some of your people have done it on panels that no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. And it shows that cult thing that you want to deny. Like, I don't say that Paul is the cult thing. I say you guys are the cult thing. And you culted so hard on Lawrence, I didn't have a chance to get that. That's why I trolled all these channels like, oh, you got it coming, Paul. Just you wait. And then once all the buildup was done, I was just going to put it on all these chatters and the followers that are making the cult thing. No, Illumitami is impulsive.
Illumitami is a fucking joke, you fucking people.
I hear a joke. Like, the joke is, like, that dude is the biggest joke. Like, I'll talk shit on Tribe. Me and Tribe can reconcile with the right phonetic words. I don't know of many people I can't reconcile with. But Snafu, it's not just about me and you.
Dude, you're a
Like,
fucking joke. Why are you
like
Nazi
I
blocking me for
watched,
Meth Head Tommy, Ben?
I watched what you did to Goblin.
Nazi
Like,
block.
you and Goblin were boys, and I just showed up because I'm cool with Goblin, and I watched you and that Borg bitch like turn on him. And then you had shit against Paul back then, and once you burnt Goblin's channel down and got him to quit streaming back then, you came over and cucked to Paul after you and Borg were like raving against him to my face. So whatever, Snafu. Like, you got debunked by my enemies on the whole threaten women and children thing. You're still playing the wrong interpretation of shit I've said publicly that I'll correct for you, but why bother? You'll keep playing your game. Like, you don't realize how remedial you're seen, Snafu. You made me hate people more for letting you stand around. Like, once they saw what a joke you were, Snafu, I was offended that they let you sit around and do it. And any competence I give you is you seem to have like cut back or disappeared for a while, but I guess not too much. So just roll with it, Snafu. Keep doing your thing. See how much I push back. See how much I don't just sit and
Hey,
let you do
Benton,
it.
why are you Nazi blocking me but letting Meth Head Tommy spill his bullshit? Huh, maybe I see the
Because he
optic
knows
here.
I'm not.
No,
He
no, no,
knows
no.
I'm not a
Meth Head
current method.
Tommy, you're a fucking joke. You support pedophiles. You've made threats on women and children. You've admitted to being a fucking pedophile.
See, this is why I need some of these people to unblock, because like Rusty, he was one of the first people to go, give me the timestamp, show me the video, and then he watched it and came back that same stream like, oh yeah, he's full of shit. Like, maybe Tom was swinging his dick about being like Mr. Protector of the community a little bit, like, because that is what I was doing. I was saying, oh, if your kids are ever lost in Denver, you want me to be the stranger that's the first to find them. And that's any kid. Like, that's my last thing. Like, the whole world can offend me and turn against me. I'll still protect kids.
Indeed, sir.
I have been Tribe. I started out friendly side with the flat earthers, and some of them I still am. That's why I call them Discworlders. But yeah, Tribe, if you didn't catch it, I went on Sovereign Soul a couple times. And just like with Z, it's like I don't even want that debate in the moment, and they want it. Like Z especially. I was like, Z, I'll come on the panel right now as long as it's anything but shape debate. And as soon as I get up there, he just full scale shape comes at me. But I like Z. I like Z. I miss Z. I wish he would come back. I'm not judging, but I'm disappointed that Z's friends and supporters aren't more vocal about wishing he was back as well. Oh, I don't know if I'm pure peak, because it's got to have a percentage of freak.
Went ahead and head off, said, let's just pay them off and get out of the way here. So no fight there. They had an opportunity. Rupert Murdoch had an opportunity to actually fight for America, actually fight against corruption.
Dude, I know this voice, but I can't picture him.
And now the situation with Tucker
Owen
Carlson.
Schroyer.
Oh, okay.
Instead of letting Tucker Carlson have his top-rated show where he can speak his mind, instead he decided to let him go because he views him as a threat with potential new lawsuits from Dominion, or now there are rumors that Ray Epps is threatening people with
What you drinking
lawsuits.
there, Snafu?
Which that's another story we'll get
And
to.
BOTG Queen 777. It says devices not connected.
Now I was tuning
I
in to Dan Bongino this morning.
You don't have a camera or a
and he
microphone.
was saying things that I found extremely.
Hey, Snafu, why don't you try and grip reality if you watched last night? Chalk Body, or wait, which channel was he on? Was it Chalk Body last night, or was it Get Chalked Up? Damn it. Well, on one of them, Snafu, even I was confused and grasping the reality. I was like Ian saying, what is this place? As Paul claimed to agree with the things I said to maybe 3 times. Maybe the third one was me going, oh, here's one more for you, Paul. I'm going to guess that you'll agree with this. And I said, RT's a punk piece of shit. He doesn't know shit. Because RT was a dumbass motherfucker last night. It's like I always gave him shit about, come on panel, let me see your face, let's talk about it. And he did. And he still
Welcome to the
stood.
panel, Borg Queen 777. We're probably
Oh
being
my
trolled,
God. Like she has the balls.
who is this?
Why
I don't know who
here?
this person is.
Why here and not on Goblin's Board Queen? Or is Snafu just Trojan horsing through your... Yeah, see, she left.
Okay, I don't know what that is. That might be some...
That is the female... Okay, so here's the story that people don't know. Whenever I was taking a break from these streets and missing Goblin, because I met Goblin in my Paul battles, and I met Goblin and Joe Cool at the same time. They were like both there at the same time.
Never talks to him anymore.
So I found Goblin was streaming like minimally and started jumping in and chilling with him. That's how I met Snafu and Board Queen. They talk all the same, stand on rights, blah, blah, blah. It's just they will find something, as they did, to grip onto and never let go of, and tell me I'm threatening women and children, blah, blah, blah. But in those early days, they were bitching about Paul, saying Paul's channel ain't shit, and this and that, and talking about where they had been rejected and their agents that they're tailed by, despite their very low viewers or relevance of a government check to follow them or keep tabs on them. But yeah, they only talk shit now away from me and then do these hesitant approaches, like she approaches and leaves, whether it's here or Goblin, and you were cool enough to run Snafu off because he will sit and ramble on, but it's to no avail. It's like, Snafu, not only has it changed the record, but like, do you think it's just gonna click one day that, oh, now this time we're gonna buy into it?
Well, yeah, the thing about, real quick, the thing about Snafu, I like to talk to Snafu, but if he's coming up because of you, I already know what he's about to say. So do I really need to have him up here to say it? But please continue.
And even he agreed with me last week or something when I didn't know he was on the panel when I said some things. And he chimed in with like, yeah, he's right. I agree with that. And even back in the yurt days when I was walking my dog and he was onslaughting the threats thing, I even said some shit back then about like, it's funny that me and Snafu both agree that we believe there's going to be a catastrophic event to initiate these things, you know? And like, I've never not agreed with anyone I oppose in these streets. Like, if you say something I agree with, I will agree. Because that's the thing I'm doing when I lean into my dislike and I lean into when people say they don't like Illumitami. I'm like, yeah, let's keep that going and let's see what truth we still will acknowledge as truth. Because if you're going to go against truth, you know, just because it's someone you don't like saying it, well, you're failing tests, you're blocked by veils, you're not doing the damn thing. And Snafu, you can take MGTOW off the end of your name, because we all know what MGTOW is, and we all know that you ain't doing it by anything but necessity. The same way Paul says my celibacy is involuntary, I'll play that game with you. You don't need to put MGTOW. We know you're going MGTOW. We know you don't have options. Shit, I'd tell it if you wanted even a few options, maybe shave. Unless you're Muslim, maybe shave.
Did you say bathe?
No, shave. Well, I'm sure bathe. The way he looks like people I've known that bathe could be applicable. But no, I'm saying shave. But I've also attested that non-shaving might be to camouflage a crater face with crater cheeks and shit. I know those guys do. But TLDR, Snafu, you're out of your league. You barely register on my radar. You only get my attention by people allowing you to partake and continue your charade.
Ain't no fucking one running away from your bitch ass Tommy. And Ben, why do you block? me
Mr.
and then
McGee,
let Tommy
don't make
spew
me
his
angry.
bullshit all about me.
You wouldn't
You
like
don't
me
let me
angry. That's
fucking
some
talk to
old
Tommy while
boy
he's
talk.
talking about me, Benton. You're gonna block
I
me
didn't teach
like a
Jim Bob
Nazi for this
anything because
fucking scumbag
I didn't
piece
know
of
who.
shit, Tommy.
Leave him up, but just
Fucking
mute
are a
him for a
joke,
second.
bro. You're a joke.
Can you just mute
You're a
him so I can
drug.
get
You
this line
can't
out?
handle your drugs because I got friends who use recreational whatever. You're a fucking joke. You can't handle your shit. You're a fucking scumbag pedo, admittedly. You fucking are working pogo, privately owned, government operated fuck shit. And you're fucking just a clown, bro. And it's funny that Benton, he has a lot to talk about me, but you block me. Don't let me say anything when this motherfucker's
I
running his
mean,
mouth
you're
about
here
me.
talking.
And
sir.
hey, you Mystic and Borg Queen, as you say, hey, I think she would come talk to your bitch ass, but you threatened her family and children. No wonder she
No,
stayed away from
that's
your
why
bitch
she
ass.
doesn't.
You are
No,
a
that's why
joke,
she doesn't,
Tommy.
because
You are a fucking
on
joke. And you know what?
Goblin's
Goblin even admitted to you fucking being a fucktard. I've actually talked to Goblin. Me and him are on level now. He admitted you're a fucking piece of shit and you got him caught up in some dumb shit. You're a fucking idiot, bro. And Benton, I'm
this is
disappointed
an
that you let this
opportunity.
motherfucker rap about me, but you
This is
block
a
me like
teaching.
he in China while Tommy spills
Well, I
his
mean,
mouth all
you
about
are here
snafu.
talking, by the way.
Interesting
I
optics
see
here,
you,
guys.
Mr.
You are
McGee.
here
That's a
talking.
Fuck
legit
you,
response.
Tommy.
I
You're a
get you.
joke, dude. You're a joke. You're a fucking joke, Tommy.
I don't hear too many people laughing unless I'm talking about you.
No one they laugh at you, you fucking idiot.
Listen,
Like what
you
was last
literally,
night? You had like
just
purple
sat
flames coming out of
backstage.
your eyes. What'd you
You
do? Buck
literally just
Barney the
sat backstage
dinosaur
and
over at
listened to
Ian,
me
China?
describe why you're a joke in these streets,
Flames
and you
coming out of
came
your
out
eyes
here
on
and tried to tell
podcast.
me
Oh,
I'm
are
a
you
joke.
looking cool? Did you learn how to use the filter? Is that cool? Tommy learned how to use a filter on his phone.
What are you
You're so
talking about?
cool. Yeah. Oh, what am I talking about? Tommy, you're a fucking joke, bro.
No, I missed the first question when you said, do you have a purple something? Like, what are you saying?
Tommy, just give up acting like you're fucking valuable in anything until you get your fucking shit together. You're a piece of shit scumbag, threatening children, women, smoking your fucking meth, can't handle your drugs. You're a fucking idiot.
So do you think that to say these things publicly without validation, do you feel that that is honor
I have
able?
validation. You are validation in itself. The optics of you scream retard fucking cupcake. You're a
And so
fucking
this
dumbass.
is
And
where the
Benton,
science
I'm
degree
surprised
comes
Benton's gonna
into
fucking
play.
delete. He's gonna boot
Like,
me and let you talk all this shit about me. Like you're gonna fucking
no,
let's boot
I'm
Snap, but let Tommy
I
fucking
wouldn't.
talk all this shit. And then you're sitting here saying ain't no one gonna come to your fuck you, bro. I'd like to see you say nigger to some fools on the
Nigger.
street. Fool. Like no, in these YouTube streets, homie. It's about to fucking you're gonna get wrecked, homie. You're gonna get wrecked. Real life, metaversal life, you're gonna get wrecked, Tommy. Motherfuckers like you, cupcakes, keep talking your shit, keep acting like it. People get tired of your shit, bro. And it's funny you're gonna talk all this shit, homie. You're gonna threaten me. You don't. Let's not forget you showed where you're gonna bury my body, you fucking piece of shit. Homie,
Oh, I
fuck you,
said I
Tommy.
would bury
Fuck
you.
you,
I didn't
Tommy.
say where.
You're a scumbag
Only
that
an
threatens
idiot
children.
would show
Hey,
where.
I
If
don't
they're
care
gonna
if you
make
threaten
an
me.
open
Hey,
threat,
I
only an
don't
idiot
care
would
how you
show
threaten me,
where.
but when you brought children up, you're a fucking piece of shit, dude.
Yeah,
And
and you can
fucking
just keep saying that because everyone knows you're full of shit.
everyone knows you're a fucking piece of shit, Tommy.
You're the one that gave
You're a
them the
piece of shit.
video
Hey,
snafu. They
how'd you learn the
reviewed
filter? Was
your
the filter
video.
really cool? Did you learn how to use the filter to make your eyes go, purple? Lightning bolts out of your eyes? What
Well,
was that
no,
shit
what
for
I
your
had to
eyes?
learn how to do was use it once they removed it from offline.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking piece of shit. And Benton, that wasn't cool blocking me and
I
booting
didn't
me and letting
necessarily
Tommy
say
talk
that,
shit
Mr.
all about me,
McGee.
man.
I've talked about evolution, but I didn't necessarily say I believe evolution. Because we're in a time right now where you can't blame anybody for having a broader line of all I know is that I don't know. Like, I understand the evolution thing. I understand how it relates to dog breeding and how the natural aspect of it would have transpired. And I even understand how it can tie into Christianity. Like, God and Christianity could have used evolution all the same. Because nobody's talking about 7 days like a globe rotating a fiery star. Like, God's 7 days Like there's a lot of I don't want to say religions. There's a lot of philosophical outlook that all of mankind's history is still that seventh day that God is resting on. And I won't even tell you it is or isn't that. I'm only telling you you should always be looking into it and learning and considering, because it was my early version of uh, superstitious level Christianity that would keep people from looking into anything more. Like I saw some of that. Like I love Toilet Bowl Earth, and I love to sit and debate him and have civil talks. I saw some of that come up in him when he broad stroked me some explanation and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I appreciate it, man. I love you. I know where that's coming from, and I'm not going to hurt his feelings. But I saw some of those broad strokes come up that just for me as an individual, I don't care if the whole world and all Christians broad stroke that. Just for me, I have to walk my path to question those things. And I'll go to hell for any God that would hold it against me that deeply. No, Tribe, I changed subject to mention some of the chat that I respect more than the loudmouth panel participant. Tribe, you came at me once in the early days, and I showed you up to show that you and Goblin, it was both you and Goblin at the same time, pointing at me going, yeah, what's this? What's this? And you were just doing it based off of the name Illumitami. Like you are part of that group that just read the Illumitami, you got triggered, you came at me about it, and you got shot down. And I didn't hate you for it, but that's what happened, and you're free to come back up and try again if you got something new. Or you can sit in the panel, or you can sit in the chat, like chat shit does, and then you can go on Paul's panel and try and sound all like cucky and respectful to him, and you can say your things in your very like low T voice and your very submissive way of cucking and saying the things you do. Just come on up and bring what you got to me. Shout out to Michelle Moretti. She knows she's got an open invitation to these Chris Strokes proportions if she wants to come across that invisible Canadian line. Come down here into these streets, utilize this extra room, get wrecked by some Chris Strokes proportions for a while, call it a vacation, ship you on back up to the Castro Nation. Oh man, coming down for that dick throwing vacation. When you're done, you can go back to your Castro Nation. But Mr. McGee, I appreciate the Jim Bob reference, saying that he took notes from me, because if you truly believe that and you think that's true, by all means link it one day. Let me watch an example, because Toilet Bowl or EBT, one of those guys had me wrecked when they were like telling me a story about how Jim Bob knows who I am. And I'll be the first to tell y'all, I'm just a participating viewer. I don't expect anybody to know who I am. But Jim Bob, I guess he was in physical contact with Owen Benjamin. And Jim Bob knows who I am. And I think it was EBT. If it really did go down with that, somebody's talking crypto, somebody says Illumitami vibes, and then Jim Bob goes, yeah. Like, and it wasn't rhetorical agreement. Like, yes, I heard my audience agreeing, so I'll just say yes. If he really did know that name and said, yeah, that is fucking awesome. And I still don't have ego. I just think that's an awesome thing. Same way I met Riff Raff. Same way I met Miss Jessie Jane. Same way I saw, who's the guy from the Crash Into Me band? Can't remember. You know, that pretentious band. I saw him. Had no intention to meet him. I just sent fans to him because I could tell he didn't want to be interrupted. And once he was interrupted, I just started finding girls like, hey, you know who, what is that fucking band called? Because it's his name. He did Eat Too Much and Crash Into Me. And yeah, it was a compliment, EBT. I get it. But I don't know if you were here, EBT. Mr. McGee, he was saying that I taught Jim Bob everything he knows, and And I was like, I didn't even know who Jim Bob was. And he was like, no. Jim Bob was taking notes. So I want to know what Jim Bob does that's very Illumitami. It wasn't epic, Austin, because I do dig Riff Raff, and I do like Three Loco and Riff Raff tracks. The only reason I knew who Riff Raff was is I was in college. My 23-year-old roommate is who showed me what was up with Riff Raff, Little Debbie, all these musicians I never would have looked into at my age of the time. And then working at the airport in that near time frame, that's the only reason I recognized, like, fuck me, that's Riff Raff right here in the fucking concourse right now. And it's because he does come to Denver to do shows. But yeah, man, I was a manager. I had free reign of the fucking airport in Denver. Walked right up to him, showed him my card. I was like, hey, man, I'm a fan. If you want to, like, hand me a bag, I'll get you to where you're going faster. And that didn't matter because he did indeed miss his plane. But all that interaction, it just showed me that he's very Paul. If you've ever heard Paul say, yeah, I like doing this. I just don't like fans emailing me, like telling me they love me and shit. I can't do that shit. And I saw a lot of that in Riff Raff, even with my subtle, just like we were on the train heading for his concourse, and I'm just like, hey man, that shit when you were on Ridiculousness, that shit you dropped about the guy wouldn't have fell out of that model Bronco because it had the bucket seats and shit. Like, you really hit me in the West Virginia there, man. That was great. And he was really like, he was like barely eye contact, kind of looking down, like, yeah, I appreciate it, because he just hates fans if they're probably not bitches trying to blow him, you know. And so ultimately, he did miss his plane. We were running down the concourse with his bags, and I almost started doing the Now They Mad, because in the Now They Mad video, it's just him and another dude like steady jogging toward the camera. So it's like, this would be a perfect time to start singing Now They Mad if he wasn't really in danger of missing his plane. And all I really wanted to ask him to do is call my roommate on my phone because it was his birthday. I was like, man, my roommate is how I know who you are. If you could call him on his birthday and be like, yo, this is Jody Hot Roller, you know, like, happy birthday from Jody Hot Roller, you know, like something like that would have been awesome. But the experience we had from meeting and going to his concourse, I knew better than to even fucking ask. I didn't even ask him. Because this is the end of the douchebaggery. I won't run you guys through all of it, but here was the pinnacle end of the douchebaggery. Is we're there at his computer terminal with the flight people.
You know how you end the douchebaggery is you shut the fuck up, you clown. You cupcake clown. You're name dropping a lot of fucking elites, and then you name dropping myself and Paul's name and how we feel about each other. How come Tommy doesn't do anything for Tommy? How come Tommy just runs on these YouTube streets? How come Tommy acts like these YouTube streets are the hood? How come
Tommy is the one Tommy can rely on for the bare minimum.
How about that, Tommy? What are you doing? What are you doing other than name dropping people? And what are you doing, Tommy, other than fucking acting like a clown on these YouTube streets? I don't see you doing shit. How come you don't have your own fucking show or live stream or fans who are writing you and you want to fucking, you know, why are you talking about other people and their fucking shit and their fucking issues? But Tommy, you know, just interesting. Optics there, fucking cupcake.
And this is the part where we just let the chat and the host decide how we transpire.
Yeah, you're fucking aiming for censorship, and Benton has been censoring me. He's been booting me for your fucking ass. He's been China
I've been here saying faggot, nigger, faggot, back and forth, and he doesn't censor me.
But I don't understand why he fucking listens to your ass and even takes it seriously. Like, he may call me stupid, but
this is the same question I was asking Austin with some other channels he's had issues with. Is like, I know why I have issues with some hosts, but if I can sit here on Benton's channel and say faggot, nigger, faggot, and not get edited, why are you, Snafu? Why do you think you're getting edited? And Snafu, when we're on the question, and this is good because they'll hear me. while we're on the question of why don't you have a show, if Snafu goes to all these panels saying he had a channel with over 10,000 subs, like, if you have 10,000 subs, they don't bail on you just over switching to a new channel. So I have to question why he's still a nobody if he left 10,000 people hanging. Like, if PewDiePie just left all his millions of fans hanging, he doesn't make another channel solemnly, peacefully, with a fresh start of 3 people and coming up. No, everybody that finds out he makes a new channel, they're going to go to PewDiePie's new channel. And 10,000 subs would have an aspect of that as well spilling over. And like he says about he's got me figured out, I don't have to question too deeply whether he's lying or whether those people don't want to follow him any further. So yes, to finish the story, VC, who is either a VC or a well-disciplined VC. Yeah, we got to the terminal. He says his flight. They do say that he missed it. And he's flabbergasted, and like, we were running. Andy knows now he's going to be sitting in the airport. They start to look. They say, I'll look for a next changeover that you could get. And no sooner does she finish that sentence, he goes, I only fly first class. And she even, like, at that reply, at that very unslaved immediate reply of I only fly first class. It's not ego when I only fly first class. She even kind of gets a scoffy smirk about that and is like, oh yeah, so on that note, now it's even longer that you'll have to wait because you'll only accept first class. So now it's an even more distance flight. So as I went to leave his company, because I did have to get back to my job, I was like, here, man, take my number if you're going to be sitting around in the fucking airport. Like, we could go hide, smoke some weed, maybe bump some yayo or something. Because I figured riffraff of all celebrities, my awareness of his substance use, I figure if anybody would appreciate a little bump while being trapped in the airport, it would be him. But I could tell he was fake pressing buttons when I told him my number. And that's fine. Everyone's free to do what they want because I'm free to do what I have to do. Like you guys know, and Benton's one of them, I've offered numerous people in these streets that extra room if they wanted to take it. And that's all it is. It's just a simple person-to-person offer. It doesn't matter what anyone does with it. It doesn't matter what people say about it. I just know between me and my Sky Daddy, I hear friends and people I like possibly being in a situation of room needing, and I throw it out there. I love the aspect of shouting over the propellers.
Easy. You just don't lead him so much. Ain't war hell?
Now, fun fact, in Vietnam, if you signed up and joined the army and said you grew up in West Virginia, you were pretty much guaranteed to be that door gunner. Like, if you were from West Virginia, you got made a door gunner back in those days. Because those days were like in these days, we were willing to take felons and gang members into the military for the Middle East shit. But back in Vietnam, it was like if you remotely grew up in a redneck hunting area, yeah, throw him on door gunner. Because that way he's got as much proficiency before he probably gets dead or dead with the helicopter altogether. Like, let's put the most skill immediately where we can. And I don't deny it, because whenever I went shooting with my war veteran friend, I was going in like, look, man, I haven't shot in a long time.
Benton, why are you booting for this cupcake? Why are you Nazi blocking me? Is it because you're afraid he's going to get too triggered and run away like a little bitch coward he is to his YouTube streets fucking room?
This is the thing you can't get
there we
valid.
go. Tommy's in a cage with old
Nobody's
Snafu now.
calling me nobody's ever calling me a coward runner because
now
I
the
don't do
censorship
that.
ain't here. What are you going to do, you little fucking piece of shit?
No, what are you
tell
alleging
everyone
is
how
my
you fucking
safety?
think. No, Tommy, let's
what
tell
you
everyone
alleging
how
was
you.
my safety?
No, Tommy, tell everyone how you fucking think that, you know, it's okay to break and enter into other people's fucking patios because you're helping, and then how you end up fucking being a racist little fuck. You know, you run around on this YouTube
wasted.
saying nigga
If you're
a lot.
saying W
You know,
A
Tommy,
Y,
one of these days, motherfucker, there's a lot of people in Denver, Colorado watching you right now. That's on record. I'll say it right now, you fucktard.
yeah, I say hi to them.
You made some big mistakes, and some of the people you're aligned with, these
I didn't.
predators online,
No.
we know exactly who you're talking to and what you're about.
Why
you
are you
fucktard.
saying we?
And it's interesting that you bring up all
Why
these people.
are you saying we, and who is we? I need that
Don't
clarified.
worry about we, motherfucker. We the people. Snafu crew, the truth.
No, that's my line. I'm telling
like
you not
yourself
to
and
worry about
others,
me,
calling them
motherfucker.
out. You know, you guys see Tommy act the way he acts. Imagine the shit that's on his phone. Imagine the shit that's on his computer. Imagine the shit this guy does behind closed doors. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's a criminal. He's a traitor. He's a fraud. He's involved with pedo optics 100%. And I find it interesting, Tommy, that you're fucking, you know what? You can't run away now, huh? You got a lot to say. I wouldn't even be snapping at your bitch ass unless you were a
What do you
target
mean I can't
involved in
run
the
away? How?
optics of
What do
we
you mean
look
I
out
can't
at.
run away?
Tommy, you're 100% involved in this bullshit. You've admitted it. But you're such a fucking fucked up druggie.
This is how we're going to teach
you can't even handle
discernment.
your own shit.
This is a
You
good
admit your
lesson
shit.
today for discernment. Because before I was ever in these YouTube streets,
supporting piece of shit.
you can very easily recognize when a guy of little credibility or honorableness has to keep repeating audacity about people.
Are you afraid?
No, the fact that I'm not afraid is how they should discern that you're probably on some bullshit.
That don't care about these pedophile rings online, who don't know what these guys have on their phones and computers, fucking and data collection happening to you. All you guys who, Marfugal and Mike Strutt and Oracle, they're just okay people, but they're the #2 data collection agency in the world. All these YouTubers doing panels and shit. You don't think the algorithms and the people involved are fucking being no, you motherfuckers don't even get.
I don't have to think or speculate.
You do know.
Look, are you going to let me respond, or are you too scared? Are you too scared to give me time to respond? Even Wizard gets his 3 minutes. Are you scared to give me my 3 minutes, or are you just going to ramble on with the shit no one wants to hear you say?
You've been talking this whole show. Benton's been booting me like Ian China for your bitch ass, so you wouldn't get triggered cupcake style and run off.
I sat here and said there's people I've justifiably blocked, and if they want to unblock, they can make you up.
I'll smash your face. I'll smash you out so hard, dude. You talk to me like that, or anyone.
Yeah, and you're forgetting Snafu. You're forgetting Snafu. You're forgetting Snafu. You're forgetting Snafu.
But then you brought children involved.
You have.
You're a fucking scumbag, bro. And people who say
Benton, little help, man. I just want to get some words in. I don't want you to throw him out. I don't want you to be tyrannical to him, but I want the chance to respond whenever you want to step in, grateful host. Now, Snafu, do you want to let me respond, or do you want your host daddy to have to make you?
Ain't no one my daddy. You motherfuckers are the ones sucking up to other human beings, fucking calling them daddy, this and that. Tommy.
Not me.
Yeah, all you motherfuckers. Hey,
okay, so Snafu, here's your least honorable.
You're a scumbag, bro. You're a scumbag.
You met me.
He can't stop talking.
I know, man. And I don't want to just have my words go useless if the people can't hear the details of how they can learn.
Tommy, your words are always useless.
No, my words are very valid constantly.
They're absolutely worthless, bro.
Now, sometimes I am setting up a thing that people are required to come, hey, what did you mean by that? Because you can't
say that all
you can't change the masses.
They don't understand.
You can't take a panel with 500 live viewers and change 500 people. God won't even let me. He'll shut me down when I try to show me that I can't.
Channel, then? Why don't you do your own live? Why aren't you fucking doing your own thing? Why do you come on these panels talking about many of us, but don't do anything for you?
Well, number one, whenever you say talking about,
I don't care about
adding questions.
I keep going.
Adding questions, but still not yielding. He does not yield. He does not fuck. He does not acquire currency.
I'm not a hug-a-buddy, fuck-a-buddy to your fucking ways. Oh,
And
sorry,
those
you
are your
fucking piece of
okay.
shit.
If you've ever heard Paul say, "Oh, here's Tom's references," nobody gets. It's the same
Dude,
thing,
if you
Snafu.
hear
I don't know
Paul
what you're
or
saying, and I
anyone
don't care.
online talk about Tommy, they joke about your fucking dumbness.
That's fine.
If you really
That's
look at
fine.
the optics, hey, they joke about me too.
That's
Fuck them.
fine. I
That's how you
I
get
know.
treated.
I'm
You
doing
get
it. I'm
treated
out
like a
there.
cupcake.
I'm that. I
And
do
I'm
joke
telling the
about you,
people out there
Snafu.
that they think you're bad. Just imagine seeing your real shit and knowing what we know about you and who you're affiliated and what you're affiliated in. You're a scumbag, you fucking sick fuck.
No, that's the part that makes you dishonorable. That's the part that makes you not all those words I could cite, but everyone knows the game already. Like, yeah, you make that syllable broken up, you say the thing. You're none of those, Snafu. That's why you don't phase me. You only provide a reference for me to look at other people and see if they let you do it, if they let you affect them. That's what your role is. I can watch my enemies and see how other people react to my enemies. I can see how people react to my friends.
Tommy,
I
you have
am a
hard
lone
on for
entity.
Paul.
It's
That's
not.
obviously. You
It's
have a
not
hard on
that I
for Paul.
want
That's
hated.
fucking obvious.
I don't want hated
no,
by
you
the
have a hard
community,
on
but
for
I
Paul. That's
will
fucking
walk
obvious.
alone in
My
in
question to
real
you.
life and in this shit. It wasn't
question
always
to you
that
is,
way.
what
panel,
It is that
do
way
you
now.
have when you're just a
Christos,
joke?
to the panel,
Everything you
please.
say is a fucking joke.
Yes, and I
Thank
was
you,
going to
thank
ask
you.
if Christos
How are you
was
today,
still
sir?
in the chat.
Oh, doing great. It's a wonderful day. It's been an amazing flow and enjoying hearing y'all go back and forth.
And this is just an example of why I said me and Christos will open with one-on-one, because we do have an agenda, in a sense, an agenda to be able to flow and see where it go. But I promise you all, hands down, Snafu will not touch that panel. There's like Barney might touch that panel. Lots of people I can
What are
see
you
either just saying,
fucking
"Hey, let's
talking
bring them
about?
up."
I don't, Tommy. You think anything you have has been relevant to anything of these people? Read the chat, Tommy. You got a
Bro,
fucking couple
do you
little
know
fucking
who you are when
buddy,
you
hug
say
a
that?
buddy, fucking cupcakes.
Do you
But
know
if
who
you
you
really were
are
to
when you just said
analytically
that?
put down what, and same with me, they think I'm a joke, but my actions and the people who know what's going on behind the scene can counteract everything. They could straight up know it's legit. You, Tommy, are a clown, but I also know what you're involved in, who you're involved in, the threats you have made, and who you have hard-ons for. And I know why you have
Now,
hard-ons
may
for
I
this
respond?
channel.
And Mr. McGee, you're free to short.
Tommy's
You're
turn.
free to
Tommy's
short.
turn.
Yeah, so Snafu, the difference in what you're talking about, oh, he did go there with it. Good job, Christos. Because there's going to be some layers, people. We got some subject matter we're going to hit, and he hit it with the thumbnail. I'm only disappointed that he didn't add himself. Like, Christos, it's your show, baby. Like, even me and
Live in
Ben
2
were in
hours,
a
by the
bumper
way.
cars together.
Why are you talking to him like you're a producer or fucking like, hey, baby, you fucking fag?
Because I'm talking to him the same way I've talked to all these streets.
Yeah, no,
as a
this is pretty good.
longtime
I don't need to
YouTube
add
viewer.
myself.
Yeah, Snafu, I am a longtime YouTube viewer, and that's the advice
Yeah,
I
I
can
know you're a
bring
long
as a
time fucking
YouTube viewer.
cupcake. I know you
Okay,
are.
so Snafu, before we get off of your question, my strategy that you're talking about that you don't do is, yeah, these people think I'm a joke, just like they think you're a joke, but I'm in these streets, I'm in these panels being rational and quiet for them to have a one-on-one with me in real time about that, so we can be honor able on where we stand. Like, that's what I was telling Rusty Smackleford. Like, I hate that you blocked me,
Tommy,
because at
you
first
just
I didn't
fucked
like
up right
you.
there when
Now
you're
I
like
like
in
you.
these YouTube streets. You act
Yes,
like it's
yes.
the fucking hood, homie. You
Right,
act
so
like you're
you
in
missed.
fucking the block. You act like you're
So I
fucking
already,
these YouTube streets.
I
Now,
already
right,
set
there
your
are
Well,
dad
Snafu,
straight
you
on that
sound
last
like
there
it's
are
comment.
the
fucking
streets
data
and the hood,
collection. There are
so
pogos
perhaps
running
he's
these
confused
streets.
based on the way you talk.
And you are absolutely
No, I
involved in
explained it
some of
last
that
night. Whenever you
street
watch that whole
action
stream, Benton,
on
you'll hear the
YouTube.
explanation. So whenever Paul was playing this game about why you fakers trying to act tough like it's the streets, number one, Snafu, I am very much have had my time in both East Coast and Denver street time. I've had guns in my faces, and none of those people were white. So that's why I'm racist with a W.
Why do you bring it to that?
They
That
were
doesn't
not
make
doing it
anyone
for
know the
survival.
streets.
They
That
were
doesn't make
doing
them
it for
street smart.
ego and theft.
Tommy, Tom, you think being a little thug boy makes you street smart? You fucking
I'm
idiot.
not a thug boy. I'm a
Yes,
street
well,
smart
then why'd you bring
person.
up I had guns in my face? When I say you act like these streets, real recognizes real, man. You can't even you so geeked out of your mind metaversally. And
You
I'm
think
getting
that
people,
you
I'm telling you,
define
real
what
life
streets
optics. You
is,
go
and you
dig
don't
into this
define it.
guy. Go look at his public records. Go look at some of the things we've looked at. This guy's a fucking sick puppy, man.
List
And
it
he
off, because
showed you
you're
guys
about
the
to
optics already
listen.
metaversely.
If I
There's
was gonna
things
make
that
a
we're gonna
channel,
release here
I
very
would
soon,
make
Tommy,
a
and I
channel.
know why you're
Then
scared.
can you
I know
help
why
with
you're
the
twigging, just
response?
like Adam.
Snafu, you got to let him respond. You can't just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
And
So-
I'm not doing the thing of a monkey thing where he just comes in demanding people be backstage. I'm not even doing that. But this dude will ramble. Like, I know I ramble when I'm on some info.
So why'd you bring
shit.
it up then? Just talk.
Just-
Why are you bringing up
just
censorship optics?
Come up for air every once in a while. That's all you got to
Right.
do.
Like, what good is it if I don't respond? Because that's
No, respond, but
what
why
would
were
make
you
your
bitch? Why were
case.
you just bringing
Like,
up?
if I got
I
nothing, you
don't go
can
for censorship,
capitalize on
but
it.
I don't go for censorship, but go ahead, say what you gotta say, you fucking scumbag.
Okay. So number
What
one,
the fuck?
everyone knows you've always had an invitation to drive your fat ass right here to Denver because you're the only person, Snafu, in all of YouTube that I gave you the number, the address. I said, this is the direct building number on this street. And you were too busy trying to fake about your hacker stuff. You're going, yeah, it looks like I got you in Thornton
Was that
here.
after you threatened to bury my body and then talked about
Oh, it's hard
children
to
or
tell because
before?
you're the
I
same
mean, I
either
have the
way.
video. We could go double look at it when you
No,
invited me.
they already
after
looked
you
at
said,
it.
I'm gonna bury snaps
They
here
already
in the
looked
clan.
at it.
And then you brought children up. I didn't even give a fuck about you threatening me, Tommy. You've threatened many people online. You're an idiot. But when you brought children up,
No, I
and
only
then
threatened you.
on the Laguna tuna fish, that bitch didn't even do her research. The wannabe lawyer, she thought she was gonna pull some fucking immaculate hit piece on Paul and use you, and you thought you were gonna use her, and then it turned out being. Where at the end of the show, you and her are talking about fucking, hey,
How
next stream
long
we're
were
gonna
you here
fucking do
on
drugs
this
together
show
on
before you
line.
came up and
Because
started
she
talking?
knew you were
Like,
a
did you
joke
watch
of a fucking
any of this
interview.
channel before you came
She
up and
knew
started
you were
talking?
a fucking clown and just talking. She thought she was gonna use you, but this lawyer obviously didn't vet you.
No, she
And
didn't.
it want to be lawyer, I should say. But my whole thing, Tommy, is I know exactly what you're involved in, who you're involved in, and you know too. And TikTok, motherfucker, just like Adam and Dex, Marfugal. TikTok, you
Then
fucking
say
piece
it.
of shit.
Then say it, because I already know you're wrong. So let's make you look like a clown right now. Everything on Lauren went fine. I've been on Lauren 2 more times that you don't have the respect to watch the whole first time, much less know about the following 2 times. I've gone to various streets that you do
Hey, when
know
are you
and
guys
like.
gonna start doing drugs together? I thought that was what you guys were gonna do online. You and her were gonna like get all fucked up.
See, didn't you
online.
watch it? Didn't you watch it?
So you guys fucking got all geeked out
No,
together?
what did I say? What did I say that you're referencing? What did I exactly offer to her?
You tell me. I heard what Lauren said. The interview went so shitty because you guys thought you were going to do a hit piece and it backfired. Didn't she fucking realize that you were just talking about drugs and this and that and you're just going off on dumb shit?
No.
That she just said, you know what, Tom, next time we talk, we'll just do drugs again. Dude, you're a joke, bro. You're a fucking joke.
You're just, not only are you showing yourself to the people, like it's not about getting them to like me, Snafu. It's
what
like I've been
showing
telling
myself
these
to the
streets.
people. We're talking about you and me here, not the people.
Right. You
I'm
came
fucking
in and
calling you a
started
piece of shit
saying this shit,
scumbag.
and this is all
And
my
now you're gonna
belief
say,
in
"Oh,
God.
I'm showing myself by
Is
calling you a scum."
I
I'd
was
rather them
sitting
know you're
here
a fucking
saying
creep,
the
keto
counter to
supporting
all this.
scumbag than not know. I'd rather the people know you support pedophiles. I'd rather them know you're fucking made death threats that brought children up. I'd rather the people know what this piece of shit who acts on the internet all the time, what he's doing behind the scenes, and what he's saying off camera and in text and other things. And yeah, you're fucking just a piece of shit scumbag.
See,
scared
now when
because
you lay out
you
all
know
that
your
premise,
pogo optics are high.
when you lay
cupcake.
out all that premise and can't simply just give me the receipts I'm asking you for, who do you think you look? What do you think you look like in these streets?
Tommy, you guys tried to
No,
delete
don't
some of the
change the
receipts.
subject.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
delete
No,
anything
no,
because
you
it's
tried
not my
deleting the
channel.
receipts. We have
How
so
can I
many of those
delete it,
receipts.
Snafu?
Tommy,
It's never my
Tommy,
channel.
even your attitude, you have made threats to paw others, and we just take it like whatever because you're an idiot. But when you brought children involved, and then you even
So
went
now
and
I know
bragged about
who the
fucking a
we is.
17-year-old, 16-year-old,
Now I know who
15-year-old.
the we is.
What, huh? Interesting, Tommy. You keep
No,
changing
this
your
isn't
story, and
interesting
we
at
know we
all.
know you're full of shit anyway. So what do we believe? You admittedly fucked a minor. So
No.
what was it? 15, 14, 17, 16? Your numbers are wrong. But I also know who you support in this YouTube streets and what you've done in these YouTube streets.
Hey, Christos, can you still hear me? I know you got your headphones. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Christos? Put a hand up if you can hear me. I don't think you can hear me.
What's wrong, Tommy? Why are you
Nothing's
trying to
wrong.
run to other
Actually,
motherfuckers?
I'm about to tell you what's
Huh?
wrong. Snafu. I never run on panels, and
What is Christos gonna
and you
do?
have an
Fucking hold
open
your balls while
invitation.
you're fucking trying to
Colt?
drop them? What is
Do
Christos
I need
gonna do?
to
Hold
call
your
Benton back to
balls while
fucking
you're trying to drop them.
backstage you again? Benton, I'm about to make
Yeah,
an
put me
exit statement. Can you
backstage.
just backstage him while I
Yeah,
exit
boop.
statement? Thank you, sir. Everyone that's listening knows that if they don't know the replies to this ridiculousness, they know that I have the reply. They know who Snafu is. They know this is my jam from high school, that I almost feel the anxiety of driving to a cross-country race on the bus because this is one of the songs I would hear on the way. This, Ace of Base, and some other jams of the time is what I would listen to on the way to cross-country. And I did that for so much that now when I hear the songs, my heart picks up a little bit and my cardio system feels like it needs to start doing deep breaths and getting ready for distance running. But I'm just leaving this time because me and Christos are gonna do the damn thing in 2 hours.
Dude, yes. Don't
and
shoot your wad over here.
wasting my attention span. He's bringing me down, and I still got to get my dog some exercise and fill my belly so that stream
Yes,
is
go get
more
prepared.
productive. Yeah.
Prepare, sir. Prepare.
So everyone knows that I don't care who hates me, but just the fact that he said all that running shit, it's like if I just leave without saying something, he'll just add that to the bullshit I never hear the end of. And I did threaten that man, people. I did threaten him because of what he does, because he does spread lies. He is my second snafu to show me that I had 3 entities overall to call a snafu. And one of them I got first before I even knew what snafu was. But trust me, people, if I was petty enough, it's not going to be on Christos' stream. But if I want to go petty Tuesdays and just spell out the dirt that I know that I keep quiet about because my Sky Daddy assures me to abide by his honor, he will never give me need of going that low road. And I had to learn that a few times in these streets, like when Ian booted me for trying to show Wiz's incompetence. I took that loss. I admit to those losses. But I'm not going to have these snafu losers tell me their loss. Because while he's sitting in the back, yeah, him and fucking Borg, they hated Ball. Then they turned on me. Then they fucked Goblin over, their friend. They fucked Goblin over for liking me. If Goblin really did say he shouldn't have abided by me, Goblin knows he can come tell me that to his face. Because I'll still go to Goblins and hang out like I hang out here. Yeah, y'all people, y'all know the deal. Come check us out on Christos. Never miss a people you like for somebody else. Just make that decision as yourself. Gauge us all, hate us, like us, do what you're going to do. That's what we're all free to do. What we're fighting for as a disheveled team is fighting for a place that we are still free to make those decisions. Like even my boy Toilet Bowl Earth. He's right. Christianity is not freedom. Christianity is not rights. But you need to live in a free society to be able to act on any given religion. You need to be free to do the actions of that religion. Because if you're not free, then that tyranny can make you go against your religion or whatever, against your will. That's how people chose back in the Inquisition days. Oh man, looks like you could go Muslim or go Christian. well, what's the difference in your opinion? Oh, it looks like Muslims are mostly saying bend that knee, and the Christians are saying, hey, we'd awfully like it if you just choose to do this with us. And never forget that. Like, no matter how much people hate on the current hypocrisy of fake Christians, never forget that the 33-degree Masons will tell you, yeah, Christianity is a different form of an older, truer religion, but they assure me, those 33-degree Masons I've found in Inquisition, they assured me that if you do Christianity, you're still doing the thing of that core, original, true truth religion. That was not removed. And it doesn't, and what's given is the questionable of was Jesus even a guy or not. And the Masons will tell you it doesn't matter. It's still the premise of the Jesus thing that you should be following, and you're fine to believe that he was or wasn't. That's not the case. Just like I tell people, I hope it's not the case that I have to believe we're all descendant from one shipwreck on one continent. I cannot believe that. I'd be like those kids on the Revelations movie where they're still reading the Bible while they're in the aftermath going, I just really don't believe it. I just can't buy into this. It's so hacky, you know? And it's like they're getting fought by demons and zombies and shit. They still can't buy into the Revelations. That's how I am about the Ark story, man. It's just too logically obvious with Australia and Japan and all the things that if God threw something in that made that happen after the Ark story, you got to give me some credit on that fiery lake thing, man. That's like the bones of dinosaurs being very plausible to be that deep and pieced together like that. It was Bill Hicks, I think, or the other smoker guy. He's like doing the impression he's falling into the pit of hell. Just, I don't know. It seems so plausible. The bones were so deep and they assembled into a creature. I don't know. Can you blame me? Like all of the scientists agreed. And he's like falling into hell. Yeah, that's me on the Ark thing. I'd be like, Ken Ham even needed millions of dollars in contractors to recreate it. It was a desert dwelling family, untrained. How could they build it?
Hey, so if I may, I just want to cut in here and say what I was doing there was called bioenergetics. It's basically like different like qigong movements that you throw together, and yeah, it's supposed to just like be good, stimulate your body. As y'all saw at one point, I was like actually like physically smacking my forearms and my body and my legs and my feet, kind of just like to wake up your nervous system, kind of wake up your brain and get your body moving in ways that's gonna help you feel more fluid, you know, get the cramps, get the knots.
Hold up, buddy. And if you want to go that
the
way,
energy flowing. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah.
What?
I just wanted to hold you up before this chat passes because it'll disappear for me. Mr. McGee, I hear you, but even as a guy,
Mr. Miyagi. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's somebody different.
Yeah, my bad. I'm over. Well, you know what? You need me to do that sometimes to cut you off, like other people do. And
right. And I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to stop where you're going with that function of movement and shit. But we could use that later. I'm just trying to. I don't know.
You're good. I wasn't looking at the screen. Go ahead.
Yeah, you couldn't hear us through your headphones. You're not Bluetoothing us through your headphones.
If you guys talk too much, though, you're going to ruin. You're going to do the whole thing here.
No. I'm just telling Christos I am exiting to prepare for his thing, and that's the only reason I wanted to cut his thing off. But Mr. McGee, that's like saying you can use X-Men number 375 to verify X-Men. Like, I hear what you're saying with I'd rather use the Bible to verify the Bible. Yeah, well, is that the King James version? Is that
all right, Tommy? We lost Christos.
And he does that. He has like a drop. I don't know if
I've
it's
noticed,
technical
yes.
or what.
He does. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get back to my routine over here. Thank you, sir, for joining. It was an unexpected, great stream, if I may say so myself.
Hey, look out for this, Benton. If me and Paul agreed on 3 points last night, I'm kind of curious to see if me and Paul are on a panel and Snafu comes at me like that. I'd like to see how he would react without him knowing I just said that. Like, I don't want me saying that to affect him by knowing I said it, but I'm curious. Like, if Snafu keeps coming at that shit, I wonder if things will change up.
Yeah, it's very much a broken record. But I'm getting out of here, Tommy. It's good chatting with you,
All
sir.
right, hope to see you later.
I will be there, sir.
See you, man.
And shout out to the chat. Thank you all for being here. Gonna get, yeah, Tommy took himself out there. So Tucker Carlson has been dismissed by Fox News. That's pretty wild. Good to see you, RT. Yes, indeed. I'm assuming you've checked it out on your own there. We had a crawl. Actually, I already deleted the banner. So yeah, we covered it over here to some extent. Well, in fact, here we go. This is ready. This is ready to share. We'll share this tab. Yeah, Tucker Carlson departs Fox News, pushed out by Rupert Murdoch, and hallelujah. And by the way, I'm not a Tucker fan, but I'm sure he'll land on his feet. Hopefully, he takes some time off, recharge the batteries and such. But I'm definitely not a fan of Tucker's, but I'm sure he'll land on his feet somewhere. Yes, Tucker Carlson departs Fox News, pushed out by Rupert Murdoch himself, apparently. And we lost Don Lemon at CNN, thank God. Not that I watch CNN, but I can't stand that bozo. Indeed, that's right, QE. Thanks for reporting the great news. I suspect RT may like Tucker to a certain extent, but that's okay. That's okay. I will admit to listening to many years ago, I enjoyed Sean Hannity on the radio. So I will admit to that. Although that was so long ago, I honestly did not know what a Democrat was versus what a Republican was. That was very long time ago. Anyway, thanks for watching / listening. Bye.